Could you imagine if your wife saw us right now? That bastard! Oh, I knew it. I knew he wasn't gonna make it to my Lamaze because he was with that hoe. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, I'm gonna get his ass. You cheating bastard! You cheating bastard, that's what you get. Oh my God, Fernando! Fernando! Are you dead? Somebody help me!
Hello, this just in. A woman who was 5 months pregnant just struck her husband and his alleged mistress with a car. In this parking lot, as you can see, blood is splattered everywhere. Oh, I think we might be getting a first-hand look.
Ma'am, you're under arrest! Come back!
Please, nothing to take her into custody.
He deserved every bit of it!
You have the right to be telling everything you said we held against you.
Hi Jenny, I'm Dr. Long. I am the psychologist hired by the prosecution for your case. I just want to go over some ground rules. Because I am hired by the state, whatever you tell me is not confidential, so anything you tell me can be used against you in court. With that said, today all we're doing is just going over some assessments just to assess your psychological state since you did plead insanity. The only tests that we have are two. One is called the Rogers Criminal Responsibility Assessment. This is just a few questions that you will answer on a scale just to determine your mental state. And then the other one is a mental screening evaluation. Does that sound okay? Okay, so go, take your time, and I'll just be right here till you're finished. Okay. Hi Jenny, I'm Dr. Beach. I am a psychologist appointed from the defense attorneys, and I'm just here today to help you prepare for your trial. A couple questions first. I wanted to know if you are aware of the adversarial process. Do you know what the judge does, the role of the jury, the role of the prosecution, the defense, you know all of that?
Very well aware.
Okay, good. And I did just want to let you know that some of the questions that they might ask you, they might be very difficult for you to handle, especially with your emotional state. Now with your hormones going a little crazy.
Okay.
I just want you to be prepared for that and not be too angry. I know it's going to be very difficult to not have a temper after what they're going to be asking you, but I just want you to be prepared for those questions and try to keep your cool, because remember, the jury will be watching you and they will be ultimately deciding at the end your fate. Do you have an outfit that you've planned to wear?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Just a suggestion, you should dress very modest. If you have a jumpsuit maybe, or some sort of like skirt type of suit, just because first impressions are very important, and the second you walk in, what you're wearing, what you look like, the jury will take note of that, and that might affect their decision at the end. So I just want to make sure that you have a good look for them.
Okay, I will.
All rise. The Long Beach District Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge David Nguyen now presiding. Now please be seated and come to order.
We're now ready to start the California vs. Jenny Lacia. In this case, the defense pleads not guilty for reason of insanity. The defense attorney claims she was mentally disturbed at the time of the crime and lacked the capacity to have intended the crime. The members of the jury will decide if she was sane at the time of the crime. If they determine she was not insane, she will be charged with murder. Will the parties state their appearances at the court?
Your Honor, my name is Misha Nguyen, and I'm the attorney for the state of California.
Your Honor, I am Madeline Walker, and I am the defense attorney for Jenny Lacia.
May the court deputy give the oath.
Members of the jury, please rise and raise your right hands. Do you swear to try the case fair and accordingly to the evidence?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Counsel, you may now proceed with your opening statement.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I am here to prove that the defendant, Jenny, is guilty of murder in the first degree of her husband, Fernando. It has been said that she struck her husband and his alleged mistress in a car last Thursday in the afternoon as she saw them walking together. I am here to prove that she is competent in her actions and that she murdered her husband in cold blood and also attempted murder of his mistress, and I would plead the jury to find her guilty as well. Thank you.
Jurors, I want you to take a long, hard look at my client here and tell me what you see. Because when I look at her, what I see is an elegant woman who is 5 months pregnant, who is now going to be a single parent. This woman fell in love with her husband 11 years ago and was ecstatic when she found out that they were bringing a child in this world together. Now, I bet you can all imagine how stressful being pregnant is. Now, I want you to all imagine being this scared and finding out that not only your husband, but the father of your first child is having an affair with another woman. Is it a little bit easier now to understand how she fell victim to her hormones in this terrible situation? I want you to keep in mind that this was a tragedy, not only to her husband and the mistress, but to Jenny herself. Thank you.
Prosecution bring up their first witness.
The prosecution calls Samantha Sanders to the stand.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You have to stand.
Miss Sanders, what is your relationship to the victim?
I am the mistress to the victim.
I see. And at the time of the incident, do you recall what happened?
It was a very chaotic scene, but I just remember all of a sudden we had just been walking and then I turned around and my loved one was on the ground, bleeding everywhere.
I see. And have you ever met the defendant before this incident?
I hadn't personally met her, but he had told me a lot about her and their relationship.
And what did he say exactly?
He said that she had been very possessive over him and that even though they didn't fight that often, the fights were very aggressive when they would happen.
I see. And would you say that these aggressive traits were really shown during this incident as she struck her husband?
Yes, I would say absolutely.
Do you recall anything she might have said as she struck her husband with the car?
She used the aggressive term of bastard and probably some others, but it was just a very traumatic and chaotic situation.
I see. And in this moment, do you think this is something that she could have done competently, or do you think that she was going off her rocker or being kind of insane?
I think that it was something that was pre-planned and that she had reminisced on and thought about because of the way that she had acted in the situation.
Thank you. Nothing further?
May the prosecution bring up their second witness, expert psychologist Dr. Long.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may take the stand.
Dr. Long, as an expert psychologist, you've been asked to speak with the defendant. May I ask what your findings were?
Yeah, well, I've personally worked on numerous cases regarding insanity, and I gotta tell you, I've never seen anything quite like this. People who usually plead and win insanity cases have a lot of symptoms leading up to their case, to their crime, sorry. Like a major change has occurred in their life, their medications recently changed, they stopped taking their medications completely, or they've had an increased level of symptoms prior to the criminal act. But none of this was true for Ms. Licea. She is not or has not ever been on any type of psychiatric medication. She has not had any alarming symptoms that I found. And most importantly, she's never been diagnosed with a mental illness. And the assessments that I conducted on her, she actually scored above average on all of them. So I would still say she has no mental illness. So it is my professional opinion that Ms. Licea was not insane at the time of her crime, and there is actually evidence that she did fabricate insanity.
Thank you. Nothing further?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You may take the stand.
Mrs. Licea, how long have you and your husband been together?
11 beautiful years.
Okay, and how would you say that your relationship was between you two?
It was perfect. We had an amazing relationship.
Okay, and would you consider yourself ever being a violent or aggressive person in any way?
Oh, no, never. No, I've never had any instances of violence or have anybody ever said to me that I was an aggressive person.
Okay. Do you want to raise your child as a single parent? Does that idea sound good to you in any way?
It scares me when I think about it.
And have you been feeling any increased levels of stress or anxiety in these last few months that you've noticed that have maybe put a strain on your body or your mind?
Yes, this pregnancy has been slightly difficult, and we had the most amazing relationship, and I'm telling you right now, this pregnancy, it's not me. I don't feel like the same person that I was before I was pregnant.
Thank you. That is all the questions the defense has.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may take the stand.
Thank you.
Hello, Dr. Beach. I see that you got a new hairstyle.
Thanks.
I like it. It suits you. Okay, so let's get to the point here.
In your time spent with the defendant, Jenny Lisea, what conclusions did you come to?
Okay. I asked the jury to bear with me because I do have some complicated terms, but I will do my best to try to explain them to you guys. So, pregnant women secrete a hormone called corticotrophin. It is naturally secreted, but it is heightened in pregnant women, and that secretion increases stress hormones such as cortisol. And high cortisol is a symptom of Cushing's syndrome. Cushing's syndrome is a syndrome that is associated with mood disorders such as mood swings, anxiety, irritability. So after spending time with Mrs. Lisea, I believe that she was suffering from Cushing's syndrome when she discovered her husband and the father of her child having an affair. The excess cortisol caused her to snap, falling victim to this phenomenon, thus deeming her temporarily insane when committing the act. Now, there is such a thing as temporary insanity, meaning that she was not liable for her actions because she was not able to tell right from wrong during the time she committed the crime. And at the time of the incident, she suffered an excess cortisol secretion, which caused her to have an inability to comprehend the seriousness of the criminal act due to the Cushing syndrome. Thank you, Dr. Beach. Will you have further questions? Thank you.
Counsel provide their closing statements.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today the prosecution has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant, Jenny Lisea, is guilty of murder in the first degree of her husband after striking him in her car and driving off. There has been no tangible evidence that she has been reasonably insane during the time of the crime. Yes, the psychologist has stated several facts of what causes temporary insanity, but in the moment we do not have tangible facts that she has a mental illness, she knows right from wrong, and she knew what she was doing. And those are the technical facts that require insanity to be stated. So there is no evidence that she has been or ever will be insane, and she was competent during the actual act of murder. And I am here to say that she is guilty of cold-blooded murder of her husband and attempted murder of his mistress as well during the car accident, and I plead you to understand that she is guilty. Thank you.
Your Honor, jurors, I would like you to keep in mind that not only did Jenny lose her husband, but now her child will lose his father. Do we really want that baby to not only lose its father, but lose its mother as well? If we put Jenny away in prison, that child will be forced to go into foster care. Now, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of the statistics or the environment that foster care provides for these kids, but they're not good. And nobody should optionally put a child in the foster care system if it is not necessary. Now, I'd like you to keep in mind what the expert witness had stated about the biological effects of Jenny's hormones at the time of the crime. And I would like you to see that she is not responsible for the act that she committed, but fell victim to her hormones. And I would like you to also keep in mind the child, because that is the most important factor in this situation. Thank you.
We'll now take a 15-minute recess as the jurors will deliberate.
So what do you guys think?
I don't know, I think she's kind of faking it.
Yeah, I think she's doing it too.
Yeah, alright, cool.
The jury has decided that Jenny Lucia is guilty of first-degree murder. She will be sentenced to 10 years in prison. Deputy, take her away.
Let's go, Mrs. Lucia.